Just going through my records today. I don't remember buying this one. This is another one I don't remember buying, but I definitely listened to this album quite a bit actually back in the day. I have the best songs from this on CD, so I actually don't remember where I got this either. These are all the ones that I'm not sure where they came from. There's this classic. Now I have listened to this album a lot. It's one of the best live albums. It's a big time classic. Now I did buy this because I really do like Queen. Probably. So I wanted to be able to hear that occasionally. I think this is the only Iron Maiden I have on vinyl. I don't remember if I got it or if my brother Brad did. I sure listened to it quite a bit. Now this is an album I definitely bought and listened to a lot. Fortunately, we had a dog that chewed on the corners of my albums back in the day, so it's kind of chewed up. This is Tom Scholz, huge inspiration for me. Before I knew about Eddie Van Halen, I knew about Tom Scholz, and I read the stuff on the back, how he engineered all this, and I just wanted to be able to do that too. I just loved his guitar sound. He still has, honestly, I've never heard anybody get a better sound out of a Gibson Les Paul before. He really master of many things, definitely. Big inspiration to me. And this may surprise you, but this is actually my favorite Boston album. It's just really a very straight up rock album. Some really good songs on it. It's kind of short, but this is another one that I just listened to and listened to. Big inspiration. You know, the special effects guitar. I just thought he made the coolest sounds. And once again, I knew Boston before I knew about Van Halen, so this was kind of a very big turn in a lot of ways. Molly Hatchet. They had a song called Flirting with Disaster, and I just loved that way the vocalists did it, and I thought the music was so rockin'. And look at this album cover, man. It's beastie. Yeah, these dudes could play, man. I saw them live once, man. These guys were great musicians. This is the follow-up to that. They had a different singer. Still like the title track, but the new singer didn't quite have the same pizzazz or groove or whatever. Didn't have the depth of the previous one. But Beating the Odds is a very cool song. I listened to just that song on this album a lot. I'm trying to think of any of the other ones I saw, but that was my favorite. Crocus. I did buy this. Got it for a really good price. I heard the Ballroom Blitz on the radio, and I thought these guys could cook, man. I thought that was so cool. I think this is the only album I got. I did see them live once. They sounded a lot like AC/DC back in the day. They were pretty much kind of second best AC/DC. But I really liked Ballroom Blitz. They could really tear it up, and that was a live recording. Here's another band that can play live like nobody else, Accept. This is their first album. They're still just kind of finding their sound, but it has some good tracks on it. Another one from Accept, I'm a Rebel. Their sound was coming together a little bit more with this one, so it was kind of fun. Some of these I got on vinyl just because that was the only format I could find them on. At this time I was listening to cassettes a lot. I had a boombox and a Walkman that had cassettes. They could play cassettes. This has some good songs too, but they're definitely starting to find their sound a little bit with this one, and it's definitely a fun experience seeing bands do that. Breaker. This is where I think Accept really found their thing. This is the album that really, they finally kind of got their niche. Really good songs on this album. And this is a band that, influenced, Metallica and pretty much any metal band you know of today. This band was a huge influence. You may not know who they are, but your favorite metal band probably does. And this is another one of those bands, hugely influential. I was a little disappointed when I got this album, because I had Screaming for Vengeance and stuff, and it had a very modern, at the time, it would be called classic metal now, but at the time it was a very modern guitar sound, and I really liked it. But this one, sounded more old school, more like Black Sabbath, old Black Sabbath stuff. And it didn't quite go for it as much, but it's become kind of a classic. It has some songs on here that were kind of like proto thrash. I think it's Let Us Pray. Has the classic Sinner on it. And Dissident Aggressor, this is a song that later won a Grammy, I believe. Not for this album, but for a live performance much later on, but it is a crazy song. Simon Phillips plays drums on this, the great session drummer. The drums are incredible. But once again, the drum sound was a little bit old school too, compared to like Screaming for Vengeance and stuff. But definitely some good stuff on this. Point of Entry, another classic from Judas Priest. Heading Out to the Highway. Hot Rockin', Desert Plains. One of my favorites on this is Solar Angels. Just love that riff. It's just very straightforward, very cool, very much straight into the Marshall amp kind of sound, and they could really do that well. I actually had Judas Priest Screaming for Vengeance on vinyl. It's not here, I don't know where it went. But I bought that on CD, I bought it on vinyl, I bought it on cassette. Bought that album 3 times, man. Now I used to collect Rolling Stones records. I still have most of these. This one I got for $2, man. Damn. Black and Blue. This is with Ronnie Wood. On guitar, Ronnie Wood, I guess. Yeah. Tattoo. I got this much later. The original Tattoo I got on cassette. I probably have that somewhere too still. Start Me Up, if you don't know, that Start Me Up was the song that turned me into a rocker. Before that, I was listening just to whatever was on pop radio. Start Me Up came on, and that riff, man, that riff. Just what Keith Richards can do with riffing is pretty awesome, man. That dude definitely made me want to listen to more rock music for sure. The local radio station that was playing it after it kind of fell out of the top 40 was Z92. And when I went there, I discovered Aerosmith and Black Sabbath, and I was gone, man. This is a hard to find cover from what I understand. I think somebody gave this to me as as a gift. I haven't even opened it. This is the Beggar's Banquet album. It's one of my favorite favorite Stones albums. For whatever reason, you know, I usually don't like the more acoustic sort of stuff, and this album had a lot of that on it. But when the Rolling Stones do stuff, sometimes it really works, you know. This album got a lot of play too, mostly because there's a song on it called Angie, a ballad, beautiful ballad, very well done. And Keith Richards played some great guitar on it. Nicky Hopkins on piano, beautiful, beautiful piano. You know, it's a classic, great song. Just probably watch or listen to that just for that song, if nothing else. Here's an old one from the Stones, Flowers. Wow. A lot of good songs on this. Have You Seen Your Mother, Baby, Standing in the Shadow? That song was considered to be a flop at the time, which is interesting. It sounds like heavy metal at the very ending. It has this heavy, heavy guitar thing going. It is, you know, these guys could rock, man. I saw them last year. They can still rock, man. It's the best live performance I've seen from them. Rolling Stones Now. Back when albums were $7.98 at the store I got this at. This is one of their oldest, I believe. Yeah, has plenty of covers. These guys could really play the blues, though, back in the day, man. Aftermath. It has Painted Black on it, which is still one of my favorite songs by them. It's one that never gets old, you know? Classic, classic, classic. England's newest hit makers. I believe this was actually the first one that was released in the United States. Not Fade Away. Route 66. You should hear the Stones version of Route 66. They could jam, man. Out of Our Heads. This is another one of the old ones. Music Express. I guess that record store. Thinking that was down here on 90th and Maple, maybe. In Omaha. The Last Time. What a great song. Play with Fire, another dark, dark song, very good. And of course, Satisfaction, their biggest hit to a lot of people anyway. It's Only Rock and Roll. Now, this is an album I didn't really like very much for whatever reason. It does have some good things on it. But some of it is just almost country-esque. It's kind of... Does it have anything on the sleeve? Oh yeah, it does. So it has some photos on the sleeve. Nicky Hopkins, Andy Johns, the great producer and engineer. That's Stu Ham at the top, or Ian Stewart, that is. Stu Ham. Hi, Stu Ham, if you're here. The great bassist. Now, If You Can't Rock Me, that's a great song, especially live. That is a great song live. It just rocks hard. Dance Little Sister is a great song. Some of these I had on other records. Fingerprint File is badass. The bass in that is just badass. Let me put that back in there so it doesn't get messed up. Okay, there's Satanic Majesty's Request, the Rolling Stones. Somebody gave this to me as a gift. It has kind of like the 3D album cover, or 3D image on it. This is a good album, man. It really shows, especially how creative Brian Jones could be. She's a Rainbow, just for whatever reason, love that. Citadel is worth listening to if you have a chance. The Rolling Stones, Citadel, very cool. But it's some of it's very strange, but definitely it's one of my favorites because it really shows a lot of creativity. Got Live If You Want It. This had the vocals on one side of the stereo and the music on the other side, which seems kind of weird, but they were trying to do as much with stereo as they could. If you listen to the last time on it, it is really rocking. It reminds me a little bit of sort of the classic metal of the 80s with dual guitars. So if you ever have a chance to listen to the last time on Got Live If You Want It, definitely do so. Love You Live. This is also a really good live album. This is when Ronnie Wood was in the band. And it definitely rocks. There's some songs on here that just destroy. If You Can't Rock Me just comes out like this massive hard rock song, and then it kind of seamlessly blends into Get Off My Cloud. I'm trying to think what else on here is. Oh, Jumpin' Jack Flash. Jumpin' Jack Flash sounds like, classic metal almost, and it's a really good rocker. I always like the studio version, but the live version is just killer. Still Life. This is what everybody who couldn't get a ticket to see them in '81 did. They bought this. Their 1981 tour was just huge, and it was very hard to get tickets to see that. Of course, they didn't come anywhere near me, so I couldn't go anyway, but I will say that I didn't really like this album very much. It just seemed like the Stones were kind of phoning it in a little bit at that point, for whatever reason. It's hard work, though. I mean, honestly, I can't complain too much. They went up and did it. It's not easy to do. Rolling Stones, Beggar's Banquet. This is probably the album that I initially bought and listened to the most. It has some really dark stuff on it. For whatever reason, is definitely. There's a song called No Expectations with kind of the last thing that Brian Jones played slide guitar on, and it's very country-esque, but it's just, there's something about it that is just so raw and good. It really brings me in. Dear Doctor is almost like comedy. Parachute Woman is a great rock and blues song. Of course, Street Fighting Man, their big hit. Stray Cat Blues is such a dark song. It is so dark, and it is so nasty and vile. It's a great rock song, but I don't mean nasty and vile in a bad way. I mean nasty and vile in an artistic way. It's just if you know what the lyrics are, the music suits the lyrics very well. It's a very dark song, honestly, about child abuse, child sexual abuse. And to hear it now is just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Stones didn't shy away from any topic, really. Slice of Rock and Roll. I don't remember buying this one, so it was probably a gift to me. It has Jumpin' Jack Flash and Honky Tonk Women, so it would be one that I would like just because I like those songs so much. It has Parachute Woman, of course. So, Mother's Little Helper. Another dark song. 12 by 5, and this is one that I probably bought. It's All Over Now. They did a copy or a cover of that. And this is probably my Satanic Majesty's Request that I bought back in the day and listened to. Oh, so it has a maze in there for you to... One of the things about the vinyls, the artwork, and, you know, these have... Bands like the Stones and whatever would hire really good artists to do their artwork. And this is a kind of a best of, and it got a lot of plays. It has a lot of their best songs from the 70s in here. Yeah, Brown Sugar, Tumblin' Dice, for whatever reason, I love that song. It's very soulful. Dance Little Sister is one of the best rockers they have. Mick Taylor cranking out a hot solo on that. Has Angie on it, Bitch on it. Rip This Joint, which is like I don't know, almost a punk song. It's so fast. Heartbreaker. Very dark. That's the back side of it. This album got a lot of plays back in the day. And Rewind is another greatest hits. Probably didn't listen to it very much because I already had all these songs on other things. But these are good songs, definitely. You know, back in the day, you wanted an album with the songs you really liked the best on it, you know? So you didn't have to take albums off and on the turntable. So when they came out with the greatest hits albums, you know, people bought them, you know, just so they didn't have to swap stuff around. It's a lot different now, of course, when you can make playlists. This is another album that got a lot of plays for me. And this has a lot of artwork in it. I don't know if... See, I got Brian Jones there. Charlie Watts. Keith Richards. Will Wyman. Mick and Brian again. I always liked the shots of them in the studio. Just always wondered what it was like. I think a lot of people do. This didn't get as much plays. These songs were kind of, you know, like B-sides and deep cuts. It does have some good stuff on here, stuff that's hard to find. And this album got a lot of plays too, mostly because it had a song called Shattered on it, which wasn't on a studio album. So, you know, the Stones would do that. They would come out with a new album. It would not have the hit single on it. So you'd have to buy the hit single. on a 45. And Shattered's kind of a interesting song. I always liked the drum sound in it, though. Charlie Watts had a very good groove. Crazy Mama, what a great song. Great guitar solo in it. My understanding is that it was played by a session guy that they brought in the studio basically to see if he would work out for the band, and he played a killer solo. I think it was him anyway. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong song. When the Whip Comes Down. Fool to Cry. Never really liked that song. But, Sucking in the 70s. They got a lot of... And this was probably my most listened to Stones album. It has all their hits from when they started out and up until the Sticky Fingers album. It has the live version of Midnight Rambler, which is pretty much, blues rock leaning towards metal. This is another song, or another album that got a lot of plays. It has a lot of songs I like on it. Let's see. I don't know why it was cut like this, cut like a stop sign. It's strange. But yeah, this has a lot of songs I like on it, so it got a lot of use. Okay. Between the Buttons. Let's Spend the Night Together and Ruby Tuesday were the big hits from this. I don't think I played that a whole lot because I had those songs and they were my favorite ones. December's Children. Can't quite read the price on that. Oh, there it is. $7.79 at Music Express. Doesn't seem like a lot of money now, but I had a paper out. I only made about maybe $20 a month. So I had to work a lot for that, man. Some Girls. This has the sliding. I don't know if you can see that. You can slide it and get different faces. I think Andy Warhol designed this, I believe, this cover. And here's what it looks like there. It has some good songs on it, but look at that. Let's just remind myself. When What Comes Down is a very good song, especially live. If you hear that live, they really kill it. Oh, this did have Shattered on it? I didn't know that. It has Beast of Burden. I like that. Before They Make Me Run, I think that's a Keith Richards song that he sings. Miss You, the big kind of disco hit. The Rolling Stones were always trying, to keep up with the times, and they always found a way to do their signature style and whatever sound was going. Sticky Fingers, this one has a working zipper on it. I guess not all of them do. And if you open it, it has some stuff in there too. I think this is another Andy Warhol design. Mixed butt, neat. This album got a lot of plays too, just because it has, Brown Sugar, Can't You Hear Me Knocking on it. What's the other one? Sister Morphine, I think's on that. Really dark. Oh, Beggar's Banquet again. How many I have like 3 copies of Beggar's Banquet. I really do like this album. This might be the one I actually bought. Who knows? I have 3 copies of this. Holy crap. This is the inset. Now, when The Warning came out with their Keep Me Fed album, this is one of the things that I thought about. It reminded me a lot of this. Very similar in a lot of ways. I mean, just the idea is very similar. Once again, one of my favorite albums, and didn't know I had 3 versions of it. Knew I had 2, but didn't know I had 3. Get your yayas out. This is probably my favorite live album by the Stones. And once again, this was kind of like proto-metal in some cases back in the day. Jumpin' Jack Flash just comes out killing, just, once again sounds a lot like something that could have influenced the classic metal bands. Honky Tonk Women sounds surprisingly heavy. Live With Me. Love in Vain. Oh God, I'm such a sucker for that song. And 3/4 time even. Street Fighting Man also sounds like proto metal on this album, and of course Midnight Rambler. Man, that scorches. Stray Cat Blues is on there. It sounds completely different from the album, and that was the Stones did when they did live stuff. It didn't necessarily sound at all like what they did in the studio recording. And this is probably my favorite album by the Stones, Let It Bleed. And it's one of those things where you might not think so, because it's just, there's a lot of kind of country-esque stuff on it, but for whatever reason, when the Stones do it, it's okay. Love in Vain, once again, complete sucker for it. Let It Bleed, oh boy, that was so swingy, so dark. Gimme Shelter, huge hit. Midnight Rambler. The studio version is very laid back compared to the live, but it has a really interesting guitar tone. I guess Keith Richard used a real cheap guitar on it, and it just has a really interesting tone. I really like it. Another one I'm a sucker for is You Got the Silver, and that's with Keith singing that one. You Can't Always Get What You Want, another big hit. Live With Me. That has Keith playing bass on it too. It's a really good song, really dark, really dirty, and I mean that once again in the best possible way. Monkey Man, great song. It's just, it has Nicky Hopkins playing beautiful stuff on the piano, yet it's so nasty, and by the end Nick is just screaming. I remember playing this song at a Boy Scout thing at a we were camping or something, and the Scoutmaster liked it at first, with the Nicky Hopkins piano, and it's kind of a jazzy almost sound to it, but by the end he was like, turn that crap off. It's hilarious. And Country Honk is a countryized version of Honky Tonk Women, and for whatever reason I really like it too. And once again, I do not like country music in general, but for whatever reason when the Stones do country styling on their stuff, it just, for whatever reason, it just works. And this is another one that I don't remember, so I'm guessing somebody maybe gave this to me as a gift. It has Route 66 on it. Very good song once again. Get Off of My Cloud, another big hit. Citadel. It has some songs that I like, so who knows, maybe I did listen to it. I don't remember buying it. So I'm not sure where it came from. Undercover. This is probably the most underrated Stones album. It is so good. It has so many good songs on it. I was so happy when this came out. Undercover the Night kind of comes through as a dance song, but it has some great guitar sound in it. Too Much Blood is very dark, pretty beat up. Too Tough. Too Tough is a rocker, man. And It Must Be Hell's another scorcher. Great rock song. Let's see. I recall there was something on the sleeve, but let's see. Not much. But I left the plastic on this just because it had stickers covering it up. All right. Ouch. Oh, my feet are going to sleep. This is probably my rarest Stones album, Metamorphosis. It was so hard to find. It took me years to find it. But it has a lot of people who played on it. Jimmy Page played on it, apparently. I tell you, I couldn't tell where he played when I listened to it. But it was a really, really hard album to find, and I found it took me so long to find it. I have some singles. Let me do those last. Exile on Main Street, another classic. Critics love this album. I thought it was kind of meh. It has some good songs on it, but it's to me it's just so sloppy. There's just a lot of slop, and if you look at the pictures, it looks like they were just partying like crazy. And this was recorded in Keith Richards' basement. They made the Rolling Stones mobile studio to do this. It was a big undertaking. And I have some singles, and these were probably gifted to me because I normally didn't buy singles. This is an old one. $2.49 back in the day. Start Me Up. Once again, this was the song that turned me into a rocker, so this is a very good one to have. Oh, The Right Touch. I don't know if you know who Steve Lynch is, the guitarist. He was in a band called Autograph. He was really, he's still around, I guess. I don't know if he's done much recently. Killer guitarist. Went to Musicians Institute in California, and he came out with this book about two-handed tapping. So I, of course, got it because I was trying to learn more, and this guy could do a lot with that. I don't know what this is. Oh, the Steve Morse Band. If you don't know who Steve Morse is, he's a killer guitarist. Most recently had played with Deep Purple. I think he's not in the band anymore, though. This is another good one for me to have, so I'm guessing it was a gift. Honky Tonk Women, probably my favorite Stones song for whatever reason. You know, and the thing about it, when I think I heard this song when I was a little boy. I mean, I think when I was with my aunt and uncle in their car and they had the radio going, I'm pretty sure this song came on. And of course, we always tried to sing to whatever song was on the radio, even if we didn't know it. But for whatever reason, when I heard this song in the, later on in the 80s, it's like, God, I swear I heard that in their car. And I probably did. It was really popular. It was a huge hit. Did I do this one yet? I don't think I did. Rolling Stones. So this is kind of a EP, sort of. And Emotional Rescue. This Emotional Rescue was a big hit. Once again, kind of doing something that would work in the kind of when disco was popular. It has a song on the B-side that's really important called Down in the Hole. I just love that song. You should hear how Keith Richards and Ronnie Woods, hear how their guitars kind of weave together. It's just unreal how those two can play together. And what's this? Oh, and the big hit, Satisfaction. And the Rolling Stones kind of helped to popularize the riff and the fuzz box, the distorted tone. Later, of course, is used in all the heavy rock and metal that has come since then. Anyway, so that's what I have here. I actually have a few others that I don't even know where they came from, but I just thought I would do the ones I was most familiar with. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. It took way too long. Take good care.